Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important, just a question asker. I'm just a question asker. My name is Raheem Aljami out of Atlanta, Georgia. But we got a family that's gonna come in with us in just a few minutes, and we're gonna have some discussions. We're gonna have some open and honest dialogue today on the Morning Glow. The phone lines are open. You can definitely be a part of the conversation as well. We'd love to have you. We love to have you. All you have to do is give us a call at 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We love to have your input on what we're talking about today. Um, there's a lot of things that's going on in the news. I This is a time that I'm not too pleased with because I have to talk about a situation that really blows my mind. It really, really blows my mind. And I don't know how this could happen in anywhere in anybody's world. I don't care black, white, orange, polka dot, gay, straight, whatever you are. I don't understand how this could happen in anyone's world. Brother Pete, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
How is you bees this morning down in yo that DKM radio? Oh, I'm sorry, wrong channel. Good morning, DKM radio, Morning Glow. How is everybody doing this morning?
Hey,
Panel, listening audience, social media.
hey, high and a happy elephant lady and porcupine proud. We all high and a happy elephant lady and porcupine proud. Yes, yes, that's what we do be. That's what we do be. But I was about to get
That's how
into
you is, bees.
that's how we be doing. That's how we be doing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But Pete, I need to talk to you, brother. And we got Tucson. Tucson just came in as well. I want to talk to both of y'all as men. And this is good. As men, I looked at the news, and it's been on the news for a couple of weeks, well, about a week or so now, if that long. But this young man, and call him man very loosely, this young male had three sons. I think 3, 5, and 6, something like that. 7, whatever the age is. 3, 5, and 7, I think it was. Pete, he shot and killed with a rifle, shotgun, all of his kids. One of them he shot him. The other one, the second one he shot, and the little child, survival mode, started running. He was shot. A little boy, about 5 years, I think that's the 5-year-old. He took off and started running. Took off and started running from his dad. His dad. And the dad ran up behind, shot him in the back, and killed him. The second son. The third, the 3-year-old. The 3-year-old. Now listen, now the 3-year-old, the mother was there. He shot the mother in the hand and something like in the arm, something like that. But the mother was there holding the 3-year-old. He went up to her, grabbed the baby, and wrestled the baby out of her arms, out of the mother's arms, and shot and killed that baby. Went sit on the porch, set the rifle beside him. The police came and got him. But my thing is, man, what world is that where the father is killing his infant children? 3 of them, shooting them with a rifle. Man, what world is that?
That's a world that we don't want to live in,
No.
and that's a reality that we don't want to exist in at all. Something has gone gravely wrong for that to happen. Uh, that's unspeakable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that we don't. I can't comprehend. You know, somebody what was going on with this man, and then you on a death mission to kill children,
Yes. Your
but
children.
you
Yeah,
didn't
oh,
kill
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't
Wow.
shoot, but you didn't shoot yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So now what you
Right.
got going on? Why did you
Mm-hmm.
want to kill the children?
Mm.
Did he kill the mother or just kill the baby in the mother's arms?
No, he wrestled. He sit there. The mother was holding the baby, 3-year-old. He went up and he wrestled and fought the mother to get the baby out of her arms. Got the baby out of her
And
arms
kill the baby,
and killed the baby, man. And
but
killed
didn't
the
kill
baby.
the mother either.
No, he didn't kill the mother. No.
Yeah, that's something. There's something going on. Something we need a little more information about that. There's
Mm-hmm.
something going on. What happened that you wanted to kill the children?
Mm-hmm. Why?
Children are defenseless,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
They're dependent on us to provide for them. And I mean, a 3-year-old, they still wearing diapers, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
At 3,
At some time, yeah.
still
At some
wearing
point, yeah.
diapers at 3,
Mm-hmm.
or just getting potty trained, maybe
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Might be just getting off the bottle in the breast.
Mm-hmm.
What is a 3-year-old gonna do to defend themselves? Throw a toy at you? I mean, what they gonna do?
Mm.
You're supposed to protect the children, provide for the children, right? Love and teach the children.
Mm-hmm.
You killing the children. You got going on.
Mm.
I mean, what? Something happened. Something's wrong. Something's gravely wrong. Something is gravely wrong. Are we saying could it be mental or definitely emotional? But I mean, what is that you want to kill children? That's unspeakable,
Yeah.
Raheem.
Yeah. 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 It does.
That's such a horrible situation. I don't even know how you even address something like that. You want to say, oh, well, we should lock them up. Well, what is going on that you wanted to kill with a shotgun?
Yeah.
You blowing holes in these babies.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Oh, for what though? I mean, what is going on that you killing children?
Mm-hmm.
But see, when the spirit of death is roaming free like a breeze in the atmosphere, we shouldn't be shocked at these things. You know, we always want to turn to this and that, but the truth of the matter is, there's a spiritual element. We're spiritual beings.
Yes.
Having a physical experience, and when we're entertaining degrees and levels and sides of spirits, this is what we're going to get, bro. When the book told you that God said His spirit ain't always going to dwell with man, right?
Mm-hmm.
His spirit is like a consciousness that will talk to you, reason with you within yourself. Don't do that. Don't go there. Don't say that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when that's not there, and then you're irrational, you angry, you depressed, you whatever, psychotic, whatever it is you got going on, and there's nothing to oppose that, then this is what we're going to get. These are these perilous times. When you have truth being established in society as wrong, as falsehood, and you have wrong being established in society as what's right, then this is what we should expect.
Wow.
See, it's a culmination of things. It's not just one or two. What happened that you got to a point where if this is actually the father of the children, right?
And they say he is.
How did you go from laying with this woman to make these children to having the determination to kill the children?
Wow. I don't get it, brother.
I mean, if that's the case, why didn't you get an abortion?
Mm-hmm.
It looked like y'all should have got 3 abortions. What happened? That you waited till these children were birthed, lived. You got to know them, see their spirits, their mindsets, and maybe even start identifying some of their likes and talents, and then you decide to completely assassinate some children.
Wow.
How do we understand that? What do we do with that? Okay, he might go to prison and blah 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 and whatever. But you just took 3 innocent lives for what?
Exactly. Let me play this clip. I'm gonna play this clip, and it's gonna. And I just found a clip on here. I'm gonna play it. I hope this is the one I'm looking for. Well, I know it's the one I'm looking for, but I hope we go into the detail that I'm looking to this show. And then we're gonna come back to you, brother Pete. Then we're gonna go to Toussaint because I know his heart is breaking over there as well. Just like any sane person, man. This man killed 3-year-old, I think a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. They ain't gonna explain the ages, but man, shot him with a rifle. Set on after he did that, he sat on the front porch with the rifle beside him on the porch, and the police came and got him. Man. What is going on, man? What kind of world are we living in? What kind of world is this, man? Let me play this clip. I want to play this clip, and then from there we're gonna come back and we're gonna discuss it a little bit.
Where's he at?
He said, shooter's on the porch.
Get him right here. You got him on the porch.
We've asked, that's the last place we've been told.
You show me your hands now! Stand up and walk towards us! Stand up now! Walk towards us! Stand up with your hands up!
We got a visual in the veil. Not showing his hands, not following commands.
Stand up now!
Not showing hands or following commands. His name is Chad Dorman. Chad Dorman.
I know, but I know, but we can't.
People need first aid, and he's not complying. And you know he's the shooter. Shoot him.
We gotta find cover first. We ain't no good if we ain't safe ourselves.
This is them going up on him right now.
Hey, no. We need to come from this side where we can see him. Don't take cover behind her. We see him. We're going to approach from this side. We got cover. Right here.
6 Robert, 29 and 63 attack on.
They recognize the fact that he does have a gun.
Show us your fucking hands now!
Excuse me.
Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up now! Stand up! Stand the fuck up!
He's still telling.
EMS to stage and air clear. Try to go ahead and fly whenever any units can advise.
Get your hands out of here. Tell me 21. It's in the air.
Those guys can confirm that there's people that need first aid, and that's the shooter. He's not complying. They need to take care of the
I got it.
victims. If they have to shoot him, then shoot him.
Man, I ain't trying to hurt nobody. I'm completely sober. Never did drugs a day
63,
in my
we're
life.
21. Get the EMS over here.
Well, I did drugs when I was little, but I don't do drugs now. I'm sober. I'm not trying to fight you. Yalin,
63.
get your butt inside. Yalin, get your butt inside.
We on primary?
Now.
29, we got 3 kids down.
3 kids down, 16 feet up.
Yalin.
63, we're 21.
Knock
Have
it off.
EMS respond over here.
You're clear, they're being advised.
Robert 34, just started mass casualty response.
63, do you want them to respond to the Laurel Lindale address? Where exactly do you need them?
We're right in the front yard.
If you could hear it in the background, and that clip is showing where they actually apprehended him. That's not the one I actually wanted. I wanted the one where they're giving the details as to the age and how it happened. That's the one I'm actually looking for. So I'll find that one and I'll play that one as well. But if you could hear the mother in the background, she's screaming out, he took a life, he took our lives from me. He took the lives from me. Because she's speaking of her 3 kids that this man, this monster, has shot and killed. If you saw the clip, you saw that he had the shotgun right beside him on the porch, right beside him as he was sitting on the porch. And my thing is, how in the world could he do what he did and then just go and sit on the porch like he's watching a parade go by or something? He was sitting right on the porch, calm. They kept telling him to get up. They were demanding him to get up. He wouldn't even move. He sat there like he was in his peaceful place, just watching a parade go by. Brother Pete, talk to me, man. Toussaint, coming to you next.
Spiritual darkness, brother, is what I'm seeing and hearing. We don't know if it had to do with some type of drugs or something, but when these type of things happen, having delved off into this arena of violence and death, right? And done some studying and some conversing with individuals that had the unfortunate experience. There's a voice. There's like voices that they hear, right? One voice to tell them to do it. Other voices are telling them not to do it.
Yeah.
That's the verification of something theatrical, spiritual taking place, right? And we just have to, figure out and get a little more information, what exactly was going on. But what I'm saying is that's a dark, evil place to be in when you act out like that. It's one thing when somebody's shooting at you, they're trying to rob you, breaking in or something like that, or, somebody's done something and caused you great anger and to touch and feel revenge. That's one thing. But we're talking about children.
Yes.
These are children.
Yes.
So we can't put any of that into the equation. And for a grown man to be determined to execute, to assassinate, terminate the life of some children. I mean, just determined to kill them.
That's a sick puppy, man.
That's a real dark, evil, wicked place right there. It's something gravely wrong done taking place with this man. Something seriously wrong. And see, we want to say mental illness, but it's spiritual before mental. You done aligned yourself with some wrong spirits, and they've had fun with you. They've had their way. We see it through the action. And then to sit down calmly after you do it, as if you did nothing.
Exactly.
You just killed three people.
3 children.
3 children at that.
Yeah.
In a very violent, I mean, extremely violent manner. Anybody that knows about guns, that has shot any caliber, from a small caliber to, a major assault, fully automatic assault weapon, you understand the force and the velocity and the damage that's done when you use these weapons. These are children.
Exactly.
I mean, the child fall off the porch and break their arm. You shooting them with a shotgun. I mean, it's not many of us can survive point blank range shots from a shotgun. No. Not to mention the buck spray, right? The big blast that hit you, and then the spray that hit you too. You in a bad way immediately just from one. As a grown 200-pound man, you talking about a child. Not even what 50 has happened pounds. That you wanted to kill the children and then kill your own children, and you determined you snatched the child out the mother's arms and killed the child. I think that's a level of wickedness. Only the creator of all living things can give us an explanation on what that's about.
I think
that's
I found it
dead wrong.
Exactly.
That we can't even comprehend. What is that?
Hold on for a minute. I think I found the right clip. Let me play this clip, and it's going to explain exactly what happened. And then we're going to go back. We're going to go to Tucson, and Brother Pete will come back to you. Hold on one second. I think this is the clip that I was looking for right here. Make it full screen here. Unmute it.
In the meantime, before we go to a quick commercial break, we have one more very, very tragic story we want to bring to you, this time out of Ohio. Take a look at this. This is what we know. An Ohio man there, you can see, accused of fatally shooting his 3 young sons. Well, he admitted to planning the killings, and he lined them up before executing them with a rifle, according to prosecutors. So let's get into more of what we know. His name is Chad Dorman, 32 years old. He's also accused of wounding the boy's mother at the family's home. He's been charged with aggravated murder. Clermont County's chief prosecutor of municipal court, David Gass, said during his arraignment today that one of the boys tried to flee into a nearby field, but Dorman hunted his son down and brought him back to their home before killing him. This is a horrible story. His bail has been set at $20 million. He's being held in the Clermont County Jail. Deputies responded to the home. This was in Monroe Township, Ohio, shortly before 4:30 p.m. yesterday after receiving a pair of 911 calls. One, apparently from the mother who was screaming that, quote, her babies had been shot, and another from a passing motorist who said a girl was running down the street saying her father was killing people. This is according to a news release from the Clermont County Sheriff's Office. The deputies found 3 boys, aged 3, 4, and 7, outside the home with gunshot wounds and tried to save their lives, but the children died at the scene.
Wow.
And so the boys' names have not yet been released. And the sheriff's office said the 34-year-old mother, who was not identified, was outside the home and had also suffered a gunshot wound to the hand. She was transported to a hospital with injuries that did not appear to be life-threatening. Well, he was found, Chad Dorman, the suspect, 32 years old, sitting on a stoop at the home and was taken into custody without incident. He was arraigned on 3 counts of aggravated murder today. So we just wanted to get that headline in there. Very, very difficult to read. out of Monroe County in Ohio, that suspect there.
Wow. Wow. That's all you can say. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother? Cassandra, we're coming to you as well.
Can you hear me?
I know, bro. Yes, sir. I know.
Yeah. Well, I think that we I don't know. Need to pay more
They say
attention
three,
to
4, and 7-year-old boys. His sons, his seed, 3, 4, and 7 years old. The youngest one, man, he went up to the mother after hunting one of them down to try to run. One of the 4-year-old said the 4-year-old tried to run, try to get away. He hunted him down like he was hunting down an animal, a deer or whatever it is, a raccoon, whatever it is, rabbit, whatever it is. And he hunted him down, found him, brought him back to the house. Can you imagine what that child was going through, man, when he's being carried back to the house, knowing what he's being carried into, knowing what happened to his brother already? He carried this boy back to the house. Boy, I know he was fighting, screaming, and kicking, and trying not to go, but he, being a grown man, was able to overpower this child, brought him back to the house, and shot and killed him right there. Then looked at the mother that's holding a 3-year-old baby. He looked at the mother that's holding a 3-year-old baby, man, and grabbed the baby after the mother unwrestled and got the baby out of her arms. She's sitting there. I know she's traumatized because she can't do anything because he have that gun. And he shot and killed the 3-year-old too. Toussaint, what kind of world is this, brother?
It's, I know it's a shocking thing, but this is the society we live in. This is the type of thing. The most thing that what I see in this, them too, not just him, both of them. Toxic relationship.
Yeah.
Toxic environment. Violent on a daily basis that has come to a head in a sick mind.
But why the kids? And see, why the kids? And he killed he intentionally killed the boys because say the daughter was running up the street saying her father's killing people. So he didn't want to kill the daughter. He wanted to kill his sons, his boys.
Well, that's who's taken out. Is the enemy has always done that. Take out the sons. So, boy, I tell you what. Now, I don't have too much to say about that. Really, it's just too tragic to even try. I'm not trying to analyze their life, but I know that's a toxic relationship.
Absolutely,
toxic environment. And we're not going to even look at how they handled it. But I know one thing, that's a sick two. You got two people that's kind of trouble. Violent. I don't know. I ain't got much to say about that. Really
Wow.
No, I ain't gonna touch that one.
And that's wow. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
I can hear it. I heard it in your voice, sis. I heard it in your voice. Talk to me, sis. What's on your heart?
Yeah, this is what comes from toxic relationships, and man, domestic violence is nobody's joke. And no, he meant to leave the wife alive. And you know why a lot of times the sick mind thinks like that? Because he wants her to suffer. He wants her to suffer. He wants her, if it was a domestic violence situation where he was controlling and dominating, to leave her alive means she gets to suffer.
Wow.
for the rest of her life because of the death of her children. And also the daughter being female. It's a lot of stuff to go with that, man. I've done domestic violence for over 30 years. And man, the stories, this is not unusual, believe it or not. If just do your research. Those that believe that this is just some rare incident, this is very common.
Wow.
Very common. And I'm not even going to speak on the fact that he's still alive and he had a gun. Man, I'm not even going to go there on that part. But toxic relationships, and even if he's mentally ill, just think about, okay, I'm going to stop right there.
But see, Cassandra, he killed a 3, a 4, and a 7-year-old child. Now, and let's just say that he was mentally ill or something like that. Man, there had to be some kind of sign. Somebody should have been able to do something in that amount of time, because one child is 7 years old. One child is 7 years old. And my thing is, why kill anybody? But why kill the boys and let the daughter? Why not? Why did he let the daughter? See, I'm trying to get into the mind of a sick individual, and it's hard for me to get there. But why did he not kill the daughter? Why was she able to run out the house and tell people that the daddy's killing people?
I don't know, but I can tell you this. When all of the research or investigations are done, I can almost promise you that he wanted the females to survive, because we are usually more traumatized, you understand, than males. Unfortunately, even with situations like this, there's a distinction in how the trauma affects people. So he's sick. I'm still wondering why he's alive. I'm still trying to figure that out. And we know I'm not even gonna go there. Y'all know exactly what I'm thinking. Why is he alive when he had a gun sitting next to him and he was not obeying what they said?
Yeah, because they would tell him to stand up, and he wouldn't do nothing. He wouldn't respond at all. Like I said earlier, it's like he was watching a parade or something go by. He was just sitting on the porch, gun right there beside him, and he's just sitting there, man. And only way he got up is they snatched him, they grabbed him, and they threw him on the ground, put the cuffs on him. But Cassandra, how sick is this world that we're living in?
Well, we know it's sick. We're seeing it every day. You watching it on the news? Or are you living it in your neighborhood? We know where we are right now. And we can pretend like it ain't happening, but I promise you, even in the spiritual aspect, there are things happening in this earth realm that we ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, it takes a sick individual.
And see, a lot of times people say, well, and then they'll ask the question, where was God in this situation? That's the problem. People have taken God out of the situation and let the enemy run his course. It wasn't because God wasn't there. God is always there. But Tucson, go ahead, brother. I see you over there.
What people that don't know God, don't know about how he is, always want to put him into something that he don't have nothing to do with.
Yeah.
I mean, we remember that we can do whatever we want as human beings. And the first thing that we do is we get disobedient. And then disobedience, sin, and wickedness is on a whole different level from just everyday sin. When you get to the point that it's okay, it's all right for me to be like I am, and I don't care who Jesus, God, and anybody else feels about it, that's a wickedness.
Yes.
That we turn ourselves and we surrender to the evil of the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And see, he's the prince of the air. You think you in control and I'm gonna bind the devil in the name of you, go right ahead. But there are forces, like Cassandra says, that if you entertain them, they'll overwhelm you.
Mm-hmm.
So I know he might claim insanity, but that man ain't insane. He's not crazy.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what he was doing
Mm-hmm.
because everybody's alive suffering, including him.
Tucson, one of the things that stuck out with the whole clip when I was listening to it, they say that he had been putting this thing together for the last couple of months, last few months. He's been planning it for the last few months. And so is
premeditated.
Yeah, premeditated. So can he walk? If they say that he said that he's been planning this thing for months, like you said, premeditated. So is that can he even claim insanity?
No, he's not insane. He crazy, but he's not insane.
Mm-hmm.
He thought this whole thing out, even to the point of his arrest. He got the gun, but he don't have it in his hand. That way he survives it too.
Yeah. Wow.
He survived it. They're not gonna kill him
because he's not a threat at that point. Because he don't have a weapon on him.
He got a weapon,
not on him.
It's down.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's some things that I'm not gonna say about this, but they're not gonna kill him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why they're not gonna kill him.
508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. We had Badger with us for a minute. I was gonna come to him, but he hung up, so maybe he got caught up. He had something else going on. So Badger, I did ignore you, brother. So if you're available, give us a call back. I definitely want to hear your input on this as well. So Badger, if you can, call back in. We're gonna keep this thing going. We got a few more people that's on the line here. Let me see who we got. Who is next up here? Let me go. Okay, Curtis. We got Curtis. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Morning, right here. Morning, family. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. Good to have you with us this morning, sir. We're talking about the young man. I think they said it was in Virginia somewhere, Ohio. I think it was Ohio. But what he did, premeditated. Been thinking about this thing for a couple of months. He said, but what he did, he took a shotgun, rifle, whatever you want to have, a gun, and a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, a 7-year-old. He killed them, man. His children, his sons, and I think of that for a second. His children. He shot one, and then I think the 4-year-old, when he shot him one time, he ran because he's trying to save his life, man. He ran and took off. And they say that he hunted him down like he was doing an animal. Found him, found the little boy, grabbed him, and took him back to the house. Can you imagine the trauma that this boy was going through while he was being drugged back to the house, man, to fight and screaming after seeing his brother get killed? Took him back to the house, killed him. Now, the mother was there. He shot her in the hand. The mother was there holding the 3-year-old child, the youngest child, the 3-year-old boy. He grabbed the baby, wrestled the baby from the mother's arms, snatched the baby from her arms, and commits to killing the 3-year-old as well. Kurt, what kind of sick world are we living in, brother?
I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say, man. What is he saying? That he heard voices?
No, he's not saying that. And Tucson just shared a clip with me where it said that he pled not guilty after he confessed. Now he's pleading not guilty.
Not guilty on what grounds?
It can't be. And the reason why I say, and I'm not a lawyer, and we got some lawyers that's listening, please call in, let me know how this works. But my thing is this right here. He can't say insanity because he planned it. They say he planned it for 2 or 3. He's been planning for a couple of months, 2 or 3 months. He's been planning this activity. And so if you planning out something, you're not, it's not in the, how can you say insanity when you planned it, premeditated it, knew what you was going to do? How could he? Help me understand, Curtis. You better at this thing than I am. Help me understand.
I can't help you understand that, bro. I'm sorry. I can't help you understand that. I can't help you understand. The only thing, if I was to even try and credit that to anything or put any kind of explanation to that, the only thing I probably can say is that's what happens when you live in a world where narcissism reigns so true. Like, I don't know what to say about that, man.
Wow.
I can't put that into words. I don't. Oh my God.
And I knew that, you know, when I thought and came up with that we was going to talk about this, I know it's going to be tough. It's tough for me, man. You know, I love kids, man. I love kids. I say it all the time. There's two groups of people you're not gonna mess with around me: kids, children, and old people. The rest in the middle could pretty much defend for themselves as much as they can. I will help, but children and old people, man, leave them alone. You're not gonna mess with them around me, man. And to have this man that killed his 3 seeds, his 3 children, a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 7-year-old, you shoot them down, and they say, and the way they describe it was execution style. So you executed your children. Stanley, are you available, Stanley? Good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning? Stanley, you there? Stanley, he might not be available this morning. Toya with a T. I can't wait to hear what you're going to say about this one right here, sis. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Man, we not good this morning, sis. Not good this morning. This man, I very loosely call him a man. His children, his 3 boys, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 7 years old. Toya, he shot and killed him. He shot one, and then he shot the second one, which I think it was the 4-year-old, and the 4-year-old tried to save his life, and he took off running. He took off running through the field, and he went and hunted that little boy down. Probably even to God Almighty, why this vision came to me. Like when you shoot a deer, you follow the blood trail. He followed the blood trail, found the little boy, grabbed him, and took him back to the house. Can you imagine how that little boy? Can you imagine how that little boy was fighting and screaming because he just saw his brother get killed by this person, that's supposed to be my dad. You're supposed to protect me. And he dragged him back to the house. Little boy fighting, screaming, and trying to get away, but he can't because the grown man is so much stronger than him. Get him back to the house and kill him. The mother is standing. The mother is there. She got shot in the hand, but she's holding the 3-year-old. She's holding the 3-year-old, the youngest child, little boy, holding him. This monster go up, grab the little boy out of the mother's hand, wrestle and fight him out the mother's arms, and kill him. Toya, what kind of sick world is this?
Yeah, it's a crazy world. I saw that story. It happened in Ohio.
Yes.
Couldn't really get down to the bottom of why it was. But this is a tricky world because how many times do people say, "Oh, I don't want to bring a child into this world because it's so terrible." But you can also take it from a couple of stories from the Bible, where they talk about what some humans did to their kids, how some of them even sacrificed them, thinking that was the way of life. And if you want to really try to be a scholar about it, you can even try to remotely closely use the story of Isaac. However, at the end of the day, God told him, no, that's not what I wanted to do because that's not in my best interest. So when we look at this world today, we got a couple of different aspects we can look at it from because we know that God don't make no mistakes. We have a habit of becoming selfish in this flesh as if we're not God's first. We can't. I don't think that some of us can really even understand what the truth might be behind it. Some of us might not even want to hear it. But the fact of the matter is, if God don't make any mistakes, he gets the right to choose to bring whoever home whenever he feels to bring them home. And the atrocities that we look at in his flesh are going to be hard to understand. But we don't know what's coming next. And for those of us that are Bible scholars, we know that we're living in the Revelation time. We know that. We know that there's more to come. We know that this world is about to get a little bit more trickier. So, you know, at this day and time, when I see some people leave here, I kind of feel like, well, they're home with God now. So a lot of things that we're about to experience, they don't have to experience it. With a father like that, I can just imagine. I can just imagine the torment that they went through. If you could come to bring yourself to kill your kids, I can imagine the torture that they probably would have went through living a long life with that man as their father. What other things would he have done to torture them in their flesh? What other things would he have taught them? Could he have potentially raised them up to be murderers, rapists, child molesters, people who are going to go off into this world and cause more harm and pain? I mean, again, we can't really fathom what goes on. The only thing I can say, you know, is when I heard your story is pray for those hearts, pray for those kids. I mean, that's the only thing I can do to be I mean, what else can you say to something like that? To their parents.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
And see,
what
and the
what
mother,
can you say behind that?
and Cassandra made a very great point. She said that a lot of times he let the mother live, so she would have to live with the trauma of seeing this. That's
Well,
sick. That's sick.
The unfortunate part is, though, Raheem, we have to know the whole reality. We have to know the whole reality. We don't know. We know that there are mothers who bake their own kids. We know there are mothers who sided with the fathers when it comes to killing their kids. Is that the case? We know people play victim. We never know the whole story. You understand what I'm saying? But still, at the end of the day, the whys is where we're at, right? How can this happen? How can God let this happen? How can a parent kill their own child? I think that is the part that makes us humans want to come up with some kind of excuse or answer on what it is. But at the end of the day, we know this is wicked, and this is what happens when we walk around in this godless world. This is what happens when we let the devil take over our minds and our souls and our bodies. This is what happens. I feel like when we take God out of schools, when we take commandments off of steps, when we remove morals and values out of households and feel like we just want to do what makes us feel good and what moves with our emotions. But again, at the end of the day, I understand that the wages of sin is death. I understand that we are all here born to die. The only thing that I can do with that situation is, like I said, Lord, bless this place. Lord, keep me covered in minds, because there's just no, there's no right response to the tragedy like this that just happened. I mean, what can we say?
And see, my question is, how in the world, knowing what he did, he's sitting on the porch. Police came. He had the weapon right there beside him on the porch. They yelling and screaming for him to get up, get up, get up, stand up, stand up. He wouldn't get up. They had to get up and grab him, throw him to the ground, put the cuffs on him with the weapon right there, still smoking.
Did you hear him say he wasn't gonna hurt nobody though?
Yeah.
He said, "I'm not gonna hurt nobody."
He already did.
I'm not gonna hurt nobody. It's all right. I'm not gonna hurt nobody. I'll get up. I'll get up. What you mean?
Exactly.
But that's how you know he was a devil.
I'm like, wow. That's crazy to me. Badger, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Morning.
What's on your heart, brother? What's on your heart? Talk to me, man. I'm trying to make some heads and tails of this situation we're talking about this morning, man. What's on your heart?
Well, you know me, researcher. The part that bothers me is all the signs that these people are, the neighbors and friends were saying. And even the possibility of him being a sociopath. That's something I don't get. Is when people say, where was God? I want to ask those people that were on the outside looking in, why didn't they step up and say something? maybe that was that opportunity and they ignored it. You know, reminds me of that story about Rico saving that kid in the pool.
Yeah.
You know, he listened to the call. So when I hear people talk about, you know, where was God? I'm like, well, what? Those people that were just sitting there watching, what's not to say that they were called and they chose not to answer?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's what's wrong with this world is we are in such fear of speaking up and speaking against that we're having to see this stuff happen more and more and more.
Mm. Wow.
Where
wow.
like these conversations are always hard for me. But the pattern is always the same. There's always signs. There's always these things that come out later of, you know, he was a ticking time bomb or she was a ticking time bomb, depending on who's the one committing the horrendous act. Yet, if you ask them, well, why didn't you do anything? They don't have an answer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm a firm believer that when, as an individual, when you're not able to hear that love and walk in that light, you're sent people, or that person is sent into your path. And when you actively choose to ignore it, are you really walking the path you claim? And that's my opinion.
Good deal. Good deal. Tucson, talk to me, brother. Pete, come to you next.
You ever heard the expression, you the only God people gonna see?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
I'm like Badger. Where the God in you? You ask him where God is. He's sitting right there watching. Who telling the dog to be quiet? That's my question.
No, the police officer.
No, I mean, listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a man. Either it's one of the officers or somebody else that's telling the dog to be quiet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Who is that? Who knows the man to the point that the officer picks him up off the ground? He said, I ain't gonna hurt nobody. Roll over. What's going on, man? What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like he just slapped his wife or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's their buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want, hey man, what's going on? I sent you the other another version of the arrest, and then him in court and some other things. But they just like, we actually was caught him at the house and he's just sitting down and we gonna put the cuffs on him, and then they turn him over and he said, I'm not gonna hurt nobody. What's going on, man? But somebody's telling, either it's one, I'm just trying to listen to, is it one of the officers or another man that's telling the dog to be quiet? Reason why I'm saying that is that where the God in him? Why aren't they doing anything? Is if I'm not saying that it was, but if it's one of the police officers, they familiar with that fellow.
Mm-hmm.
So then it had some other incidents that was warning signs that he was capable of doing something. And he just like this guy, I grew up in a little small town. And I had a friend, I said friend, acquaintance. He and his wife get into it and they'll take him, go to the store, let him buy him a couple 40 ounces to take him back home, tell him to leave that woman alone.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
Because it's normal for them to be violent. They're always at the house. So not only they know him, they know her, and they know the dog. That's my problem.
Familiar with the whole scene.
That's what I'm talking about. So you talking about where God is. God is looking at you. And I'm saying this to all of us because we have created this society. When God made this world, he said it's all good until you showed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
everybody wants to, we made in his image and in his likeness. So when you say, I'm talking about all of us. Where
Yes.
God is, there he is right there.
Mm-hmm.
Acting like the devil.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
It's in us.
God ain't gonna make us do nothing. Remember when Cain and Abel was there?
Mm-hmm.
God asked Cain, where your brother?
And he got
Look at
slick
his
at the mouth.
attitude.
He got slick at the mouth.
Cain
Yeah.
did the same thing. Cain did the
Mhm.
same actions. Sitting on the stoop saying, I ain't got nothing. Am I supposed to be his keeper?
Mm-hmm.
Same attitude.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Phone lines open, and we asking the question, what kind of world are we living in when a dad, supposed to be dad, father is supposed to be protector of his children, could take out a weapon, a rifle, shoot and kill, hunt one of them down, shoot and kill, snatch the other one out the mother's arms, and shoot and kill a 3-year-old. Now he killed a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 7-year-old. His children. His children. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
I don't even know. You know, I don't know. You know, I remember a few years ago I did one of the TV shows, the real reenactments, where we did the real stories of people, and there was a black woman that her husband killed. I think it was three boys. I think it was 3 boys as well, but they were older boys. They were like 11, maybe 13 and 15, and I mean he said this. He said, "I'm taking their life so that you would suffer the rest of your life."
Wow.
That's what he said. That's what he said. And before she could get home, she's called the police, but before she could get home, he had killed all her children, all their children. So yeah, there are sick people out there that, and I'm not saying he was mentally ill. I believe he was just evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
He could not control her. So I'm going to take the thing that you love the most, and you know that's going to be a woman's children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Wow. Wow. Curtis, talk to me, brother. Kurt, you there?
Right here.
Yes, sir.
I mean, there ain't much to talk about, for real. I mean, if I process it, I'm a strong and firm believer.
Hey, Kurt, let me ask you this question. From your background, from your counseling background, man, what is it? How do you make this make sense from a counseling standpoint?
You can. I mean, you can try. Like, after several evaluations and assessments, you might be able to put this young man or whatever. You might be able to put him in a state of psychosis, I guess you could say, or he could just be that of a narcissist. You know what I mean? Like, especially the guy that Cassandra was talking about. I do bad, but I blame you for me doing bad. Like, they don't take no ownership to their wrongdoings whatsoever. But I'm a drift from a biblical perspective, man. You know, I don't like to get people scared or anything like that, but I'm a believer that, man, we are living in the days of Herod. We are living in the days of the third rod.
Yeah.
You understand? And they know that a savior is coming. They just don't know where he coming from. So they casting the net in any direction that they can. It ain't just all the firstborn males of Bethlehem or all the firstborn males of Egypt. You know, they cast in the net all firstborn male Hebrews. Nah, I believe, I don't know, man. The devil is just casting the net wider because he don't know where the Messiah is coming from. I mean, we done seen over the last 6 years, we done seen children snatched from their parents and made to live in border prisons and all kinds of foolishness, man. You know what purpose is there to separate a child from their parents? I don't know what to say about this, man, outside of the fact that, you know, the devil use folk, man.
Yeah. Exactly. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We definitely love to have your input on what we're talking about this morning. Brother Pete, talk to me, brother.
Well, what our dear sister was breaking down the fact that individuals will do these type of actions to cause trauma and harm to the other parent, and the mindset of, you know, desiring to be in control and you know, I'm gonna force you to suffer and all of this. So that goes to speak to the level of madness that's going on right there. You so concerned about controlling somebody else that you're gonna allow yourself to go to the extent of killing somebody so that you can make them suffer. And then to show you how the system is designed by reprobate-minded individuals or people that are retarded. How does he get a bail for $2 million? What happened to no bail?
Yeah.
You actually, I heard them say this man got a bail. He got a $2 million bond. For real? You gonna, after all of this, you gonna let the man bond out if he can afford to bond out? Really? So it just go to show it's wrong all over the place. We talked the other day about love and compassion, being considerate, you know, showing some interest and just paying attention, you know, just lending a thought, you know, to other folks in their situations and circumstances and conditions. And where is that? I mean, the people, the neighborhood saying this guy's a maniac. They try to tell folks, hey, he off. You gotta watch him. I don't know. He might be the one. Nobody paying attention. Nobody took any concern. Nobody, you know, just thought that, well, we're the justice center. We prosecute. Well, the prosecutor does prosecution and investigatory restoration as well. So I mean, where is that at? Where's the concern? I mean, how do you have the children's services to come take children under all these means with these parents, and it might not even be, you know, a equated situation for them to be justified to come take the children, but they take them anyway. All over the country. So where was they at on this? People telling me their father crazy. Their father a sociopath. Their father is dangerous. The father may do some serious harm to somebody. Nobody paid attention. Nobody thought to look into it. No interest, nowhere. The pastor, I mean, who? Nobody, nothing, no one. That's what's wrong.
Wow.
That's what's wrong. I could say on this phone right now that I'm gonna kill the president, and I might get a visit
from the Secret Service if
Exactly.
I say it loud enough.
Exactly.
And make it sound convincing enough. I might get a visit from them. I just made a statement, and I might seriously get a visit from them.
Mm-hmm.
And you got people saying there's something wrong with this dude. Nobody thought to visit. Nobody thought to look into it. Nobody was concerned enough. And now we got to wait till the carnage happens and the mother has to suffer. Only God knows how long, and to what depth and degree, because nobody thought to give a thought, a interest, a concern, some compassion, some love, some righteousness, some positivity, some good to the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So not only is this degenerate piece of garbage, and certainly if this man did all this to terrorize this woman for whatever reason, that's some maniac stuff that don't even make sense either.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's ridiculous.
Exactly.
You know, it's ridiculous.
Exactly.
And if we're not careful, we as society bear some of the blame as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Giving the number one more time, 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. Man, this is a sickness. It's absolutely a sickness. Toya with a T, talk to me, sis.
Yeah. So I think another perspective we need to take into account is the gun violence perspective. Not only do I believe that some of these things are influenced in other manners as far as sonar, visual, and other technologies that they may be using to influence us to have certain actions so that way they can retract certain laws.
Mm-hmm.
But so what if this individual, or let's just say, this is a licensed individual who got all the paperwork, who filled out all the credentials and committed this act. We still cannot say that laws are going to stop actions from happening. You know what I mean? Like if we wanted to utilize this and say, hey, this is why we need gun reform. How could gun reform have stopped this father from shooting down his 3 children? If he went through all the proper protocols.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we need to start to explore influences, even if the influence is due to stress, due to maybe not being able to provide for your kids with the economy and inflation and things of that nature. Can these influences cause us to snap? Can these influences have an effect on how we handle our stress when it comes to providing for our families? I think this is what needs to be thought in this equation, because these things are abnormal and unnatural. And I don't know if these things are happening. Well, I know that wickedness is everywhere, but we still need to figure out the why.
Yes.
If there's something that could have been done, is there a way that people could have acknowledged that this was going to happen? Is there an influence that is causing these patterns of people to react in this way? And what can we do about it? And I think, we have to figure out, I think from a governmental aspect, do we want to do anything about it?
Yes.
Because again, I think this is something that causes money. This is an industry. Do we want to do anything about it from a governmental aspect? So again, when we see these atrocities, I think that we should dig deeper than just the cover story.
Yeah.
We have to dig deeper. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And because we are just regular people on the outside looking in, we don't have the access that the police have. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the access that the FBI have. We don't have the access that other entities may have to help us further understand the story. But I do think that with the amount of shootings that are going on, we need to look at other influences, and we need to try to figure out from a governmental aspect and as a people aspect, what are the triggers and how can we curb these things?
Wow. And there's so many different levels. I want to go to another topic, not necessarily another topic, but something along the same lines as this. So anybody else have anything on their heart they want to say before we move on to something different? Cassandra. Cassandra?
Yes, sir.
There was another situation that happened in Chicago. I don't know, the video's been circulating out there as well, about a mother was in the hot dog line in Chicago, and the man was fussing at her, I guess as a boyfriend, fussing at her, and just totally disrespecting her by his verbiage. And then he says to her, if you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock your blank 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 out. Say one more thing, you say, oh my mama, you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. And then she was about to say something and he punched her. And then he punched her again. The 14-year-old son went and got the gun, shot and killed the man. They was arrested. Both of them was arrested. But it's come across this morning that the charges on them, once they saw the video, that the man punched the mother and stuff like that, they dropped the charges. Do you agree with that? Or what do you think should happen in that situation?
The kid was standing there and saw his mother being assaulted by this man and went, man, I'll send him some bail money. I'll find a couple of dollars that I got and send it. Listen, I mean, I'm sorry he died, but you put your hands on his mama. He was trying to protect his mom regardless.
Yeah.
No, that's just my position. You assaulting. It ain't even got to be my mama. You punching a woman in the face, man. Well, you know my position. I'm gonna not talk because I'll be done said something that y'all not like.
Tucson, what do you think? Do you agree, or how do you feel about the charges? The charges actually was dropped. The charges was dropped. Then they saw the video, and this man, he's savage. He punched. He was punching this woman, man. He's punched this woman like he was hitting an enemy. He punched her. The 14-year-old son went to the car, I guess, got the gun and shot him. He died. They was arrested. The mother and the son, the 14-year-old son, was arrested. But the charges was, after they watched the video, the charges was dropped. What do you say? Do you agree with the charges being dropped, or how do you feel about this whole situation?
Man, where in the world? What are we talking about today? This is a rough day, man. So we showing, I guess we just showing that it's okay. It's all right to be violent. If they call it self-defense. If it's to protect another life, take a life. It's okay.
Wow.
If it's all right. So we live in a violent society, so some violence is okay. It's justified. That's what it shows. It's all right. I'll tell you what. I guess they would, applaud the young man for being violent, protecting his mama. How many wish they would have done something? When you see somebody overpowering another person just because he can. If somebody tell you they're gonna do something, believe them. We live in a violent society, and I think it was Toya said it ain't gonna get no better.
No.
I mean, this is not. I know it's at the beginning. I'm sorry. You were saying, I know it hurts. It's normal, man. These things are normal.
Have we become numb to it, Tucson? And if that's the case, man, that's a terrible place to live. To become numb.
Here's the thing. I have to talk to people that experience these things on a daily basis.
Wow.
They like the kids at the church, decide that they were going to go to a party.
Mm-hmm.
And in a text conversation, two young men get into conversation, and he says, well, one says you this, and the other one says, well, I'll be over there. And he starts to going over there, and he texts him back. He says, you don't even know you're a dead man walking. So he continues to go to the house, and when he gets there, he want to fight. The young man says, I don't fight, I shoot. Shot him dead. And so now I got to have three of the young kids at church that standing there looking at this. And I got to talk to them. This is normal. Violence is a normal thing in our society. And here's the thing about the whole thing. It ain't going to get no better because some of it's okay. This one is the one that man that shot his three kids. That's a terrible thing. And he should be executed.
Wow.
The young man that defended his mama kills the man. I don't know if that was his stepdad, dad, whatever. But it's okay. No, take them home and let them go on with their life. But here's the kicker: you still got to live with it.
Wow. That's sad. That's sad. And I said earlier, man, if we're to the point, and nobody said that we were, but if we're to the point where we become numb to these type of activities, man, this world is not going to get any better. If we're numb to it, we're numb to this, man. This is Cap. Good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning, Raheem. Good morning to my Morning Glow family. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
Good deal. Good to have you. Good to have you. We're talking about. We started off talking about. I got to sneeze, y'all. Excuse me. It's coming out, but y'all excuse me. Excuse me. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. We're talking about the first topic we talked about was a young man, and I very loosely called him a young man, but he killed his three sons. Shot one, shot the 7-year-old, shot the 4-year-old. The 4-year-old started running away, and he chased him down like an animal, grabbed him, pulled him all the way back to the house, fighting and screaming, and the boy knew what was going on. Took him all the way back to the house and shot and killed him right there in front of the mother. The mother was holding the 3-year-old son. He went up to her, grabbed the baby, and wrestled the baby out of her arms. Grabbed the baby and wrestled the baby out of the mother's arms. Shot and killed the baby. Sat on the front porch, put the gun beside him till the police came, and they apprehended him. I'm asking the question, man, how sick is this world we're living in that a father would do something like that to his own children?
Well, we're living in a time where we may, there's nothing really to shock us. There's a surah in the Holy Quran that says, the shock of the hour is a grievous thing. The shock of the hour is a grievous thing. Well, that's a shock. And it's very grievous. I'm not surprised because we're living in a time where we're at the end, I believe, that anything that's in man's heart, God would make manifest. And if that kind of sickness or violence was in that father's heart, God made manifest that kind of sickness and violence. There's a lot of stuff like that, Brother Raheem, that's going around. I can't answer why did God permit that man to kill his own children. I don't know. I just know that today, the Bible said that God would put men at variance with his own father, against son, son against daughter. And that's just the beginning of sorrow. So if that's just the beginning of sorrow, then we are in for a serious treat in terms of what we may see in our lifetime.
Wow. Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. Let us hear your input on this. Toya with a T, what do you think about the 14-year-old and his mother? Do you agree with the charges being dropped?
I mean, well, I absolutely agree with the charges being dropped. I think that there are more situations to where, when it comes to defending yourself, that we need to be a little bit more empathetic to. There was just a case a couple of months ago in Mississippi, actually, where the young man was beating up on the mother. The mother told the 9-year-old or the 11-year-old to go call the police. The police get to the house. The 11-year-old walks outside with his hands up, and the police shoot him.
Yeah.
Unarmed.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he fell on the ground and he started to praise the Lord. So again, I think that when we have situations where someone is defending themselves, I think that we do need to drop the charges. There are countless of women who are in jail and in prison from simple things like just firing a firearm to stop an ex, and they have time. There's even a story of a young lady. She might be free now, but someone human trafficked her, and she killed a human trafficker, and she was charged with murder.
Yep.
And she had to fight and get out. So I do think that there are a multitude of offenses when it comes to self-defense that charges need to be thrown out. But this is where it gets tricky, because in a system that was created off of human trafficking, in a system that is created off of violence, in a system that is created off of capitalizing one's human power over another, I can see why the judicial system probably does not support us, especially when we get into those situations, because that's kind of the way of this country. But I absolutely agree, not only for the charges to be dropped, but being honest. You can be the mayor, you can be the governor, you can be the president. You put your hands on me, I'm going to jail. And I don't care if you don't drop the charges. I would be more than happy to stay in jail for the rest of my life for blowing your head off, for putting your hands on me, my mama, or any of my friends, despite of what my consequences are, because I'm a woman, I'm a human. You will not put your hands on me and think there's no consequences. So I absolutely agree when it comes to defending your loved ones, your friends, and your family. The same way the police has authority to say you have a gun and they're intimidated and they get to shoot you because of their authority. I feel like my authority of being a human, if someone is harming me or my family, I should have the authority to do the same and not face judicial consequences behind it.
Wow. That's good. Pete, talk to me. How do you feel about the charges being dropped?
Well, again, I don't know what caused that incident, and it seems like a charged situation. You know, the melanated woman, melanated man. Listen, we know our people are traumatized. Okay, I'm not making excuses. It's a reality. It's a problem when we can't communicate with one another in a respectful manner where we can avoid these type of unfortunate outcomes. Generally speaking, I don't know of too many justified situations where a man should hit a woman.
Yeah.
Unless the woman is really, a man beater type female, or really doing something to you, assaulting you to the point that you have to throw a punch to get her to stop assaulting you. I don't know too many other situations where a man, and generally speaking, is justified to ever put his hands on a woman, period. And women have to come to an understanding of using that weapon, that mouthpiece, to the point that you're provoking men to where they want to punch you or hit you. So see, it's across the board. These two grown adults, and neither one of them had the wherewithal to just shut up and let the other one have it. Okay, you're right. Whatever. I'm done. Let me move around.
Yeah.
You know, let me get my stuff and leave, or let me just stop talking. Let me move away from you. Let me leave the scene till you leave and come back, whatever, because you already know this is, you know, a common extremity that's going to happen amongst us. But let's look at the variables. Did either one of them have enough respect for themselves to avoid the situation to begin with? They definitely didn't have enough respect for each other. And then again, what's going on, bro? That you want to throw punches at the woman for just talking? Did she hit him? I mean, did she hit him?
No.
So how you justified to hit this woman just because of her mouthpiece?
And he said to her, if he said, I swear on my mama, you say one more word, I'm gonna knock you to blank out.
Yeah,
and
he said
one more word.
He said something similar. If you say one more thing, one more word, I'm gonna knock you out.
Yeah.
Hold up, man. She just talking.
Exactly.
She just talking. And then you want to go to throwing blows, and you a grown man, you throwing haymakers.
Yeah. Yep.
You throwing, I mean, full strength, full arm punches.
Like he fighting an enemy, man. Like he fighting an enemy. He swing like he fighting an enemy, man.
Because of something that right, but because of something, what did she do? Did she hit you? Did she touch you? So how do you think you justified to swing on this woman?
She talked about my
mama. So I'm saying,
Lord Jesus.
Even if you talk about your mama, all of that. I mean, come on, let's be for real. We know the mouthpiece can be a weapon. They use it all the time. But it's still, you a man. You shouldn't hit a woman because of that. And I'm saying to the sisters, you know, use some more intelligence and some more resolve instead of just assaulting people with the mouthpiece. Everybody ain't rap tight. Clearly he wasn't. He rap tight now. He's tightly wrapped now though. Or rigor mortis done set in. He tightly wrapped right now in a sheet on a piece of metal in a cooler somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he dead as dead can be. There's no more life. There's no more do-over. Ain't no more I'm sorry. You know, whatever. It's over with. You done checked out. You done took the full journey because of what? Yeah, they justified to drop the charges. What is wrong with you that you punching on this woman like that? Okay, if you was there, what would you have done if you saw the situation?
And see, and that's where I was about to go next.
I definitely would have been if it went down like we saw it, and like how we interpreted it, it's just some words back and forth. Man, I'd have helped that young boy plummet that dude. You're not justified to hit this woman because she talking crazy. Should she be talking that crazy to you or whatever? No. If it was to that extent, I don't even know if it's to that extent.
Yeah. Exactly.
But even if she was, it don't justify you as a man hitting that woman.
And see, only thing you could really hear clearly, really hear clearly in that video is him yelling and screaming. She don't seem like she was even talking loud. I don't know, man. Maybe I missed something.
Didn't seem like I didn't see. You know, it's a quick clip. We don't know. But what we do know is a man. Listen, y'all out there listening. Don't be the clown that repeat this ignorant reprobate behavior and end up with the same result. You repeat this same behavior as a man and you make it out there with a trip in the hospital, maybe some broken bones, got to sit up there for a minute. Maybe you even wake up in a coma. You better count it as a blessing. Because if you want to take your physical man strength and beat on a woman because you a man and she talking crazy, man, you deserve to get dragged down through there. You are not justified to be whooping on no woman because of nothing that she's saying to you.
Yeah.
Now she attacking you, that's different. But as a man, you should never be whooping on no woman like that. You're not justified to do that. But I'm gonna caution the sisters: use your mouthpiece a little better because this is. What if he pulled out a gun first? What if he didn't throw a punch but he shot her?
Wow.
Because we talking about the maniac. Look at this maniac that just killed his own children. So let's not act like everybody's strapped now. Everybody got a gun, a knife. Everybody got something, and they quick to use them. Come on now. But no, you are not justified as a man to hit a woman. Yes, they are justified to drop them charges. They absolutely are. And hopefully this will be a banner and a lesson for the rest of them that think like that. All right, don't get the same result.
One of the things,
keep your hands off the women.
And one of our watchers on TikTok says the same thing I was saying earlier, and I definitely appreciate it. The phone lines are open 508-924-3521, 924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. Phone lines open. But they say the same thing that I said a little earlier, and been thinking throughout this whole conversation, man. Cassandra, there was other people in that line. I know there was other men in that line. They saw this whole situation getting out of hand to the point where he said, yelled, screamed out, say one more thing, I'm gonna knock your blank, blank, blank out. Say one more thing, and his body actions told the story that he was at a point. Why nobody stepped in, Cassandra, and tried to, hey, brother, hey, man, calm down a little bit, brother. Hold on for a minute. Hold on for a minute. You know, hold on. Don't hit that woman, man, but let me talk to you for a minute. Why nobody took that stance, Cassandra? Cap, come to you next.
Because it's entertainment. It's entertainment now. You know, it's video clip time. You're being entertained. I mean, I've never seen such sickness as what's happening in our society right now with people. When violence is taking place, somebody getting beaten, somebody getting shot, people, and I don't have a problem with you videotaping, but can you call 911 before you videotape? I mean, I mean, but it's entertainment. We are thirsty for that type of entertainment. So it's sad our society is at the place, and I always use this term, this phrase, man's inhumanity towards man. People don't give a darn. They really don't. They don't care. They can see stuff happening that is detrimental to somebody's life, and they will do nothing but watch and be entertained. It's our sickness in this society.
Wow. And that's saying a lot, but saying so little about us as human beings. Wow. Ryan, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
I'm trying to be like Tucson, find the mute button. I'm all right. A little frustrated. We lost power yesterday. I'm dirty, I'm smelly, and I'm hungry.
What a combination. What a combination.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But what do you think about this situation? We talked about the man that killed his 3 sons earlier, but right now we're talking about the young lady that was assaulted by her quote unquote boyfriend, husband, whoever he was, and the 14-year-old son when he got the gun and killed him. Was arrested. The mother and the son was arrested, but the charges was dropped. Do you think those charges should have been dropped?
Of course. Of course. Ain't no reason to be putting your hands on a woman like that. You know, I experienced that growing up. My stepdad used to beat on my mom a lot. And I attacked him one day in the kitchen, and he beat me with a frying pan for it. But I was too little. I was too little to do anything about it at that time. But when I got a little bit older, things changed. But yeah, no, it's definitely not cool. I think that the charges definitely should be dropped. That little boy was trying to protect his mama. You know, like it's the same thing. You look at a scenario of like home invasion. You know, this is, if it's not his dad and it's a boyfriend, it's a stranger in your house. For the most part, you know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously they have some sort of relationship, but he don't belong there. He got no ties to those kids, really. You know, he's not their parent. And if that son felt that afraid for his mother that he had to go get the gat and clap that guy, then that's what it needs to be. He's trying to protect his mama's life. That man could kill her.
But see, and I understand what you're saying, and what you're saying makes a lot of sense. But let me ask this question on the other side of the coin. Are we, to a certain degree, in this instance right here, saying that it's okay, he should protect his mother, but are we condoning the violence? Are we co-signing on the violence? Because, you know, somebody did lose their life. Now she was assaulted as well. And we're not gonna blow over that part like it didn't happen. It did. He was totally, that man, whoever he was, that grown adult, he ain't gonna call him no man, that assaulted this woman was totally wrong. There's nothing, nobody could make me think that it was right. Wrong. But are we co-signing on the violent side of it when the young boy went and got the gun and shot and killed? Are we co-signing on that violence?
I don't believe that. I'm gonna pull let me open my Rolodex and pull a RICO. Justified vengeance. You know, there's a difference. If you just run around willy-nilly hurting folks for no reason, there's no justification for that, right? But this is a different scenario. This isn't just the kid felt like, committing an act of violence. He was taking care of his home. He was taking care of his family. Like, you have the right, and we all have the right in this country to protect what's ours, our family members, our home, our property. And when we start blurring the lines between protection of life and property to just straight violence, I think we have a problem, and it's going to create more problems in the end. And I think Cassandra has a point too, with people just standing around watching that happen. It's like, you ever seen the movie Gladiator with Russell Crowe?
A little bit of it. Uh-huh.
Okay, so the first thing that popped in my head when she said that was this guy acting a fool in front of everybody and then turning around and asking everybody, "Are you not entertained?" Like, that's how people act. They want to look around and get that attention. Like, people like that stuff. People don't like that stuff. People just scared to step up and do something about it. That's a problem, because people don't want to get hit with no charges for protecting somebody else's life. That's a problem. That's a big problem.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Cap, talk to me, Cap. Joseph, come to you next.
This video has been circulating. It's a conversation that has taken place quite a bit in the hood. There's no question the lady's name is Miss Hood. That video is very hard to look at if you're any kind of man.
Exactly.
But I got to be honest, that video motivated me to, after I get my, go to this health thing that I'm dealing with, it had motivated me to go on a tour to do a boys in manhood training. I felt the need of training our boys and our men to be men, to respect and protect the women. To see this man is not her boyfriend. She did not know this guy, according to what's in the news. In a hot dog line. I mean, you should see how he punched her.
Yeah.
What's more tragic than that, Raheem, is the men standing in the line.
Exactly.
That didn't do nothing.
Did nothing.
They are guilty as that young 14-year-old in pulling that trigger. They're guilty too. They contribute to that man's demise.
Yes.
What could that man could have done to another man? What, a fight could have broke out? Okay. But he would have been alive. And he would have got his behind, maybe by somebody in that line.
Exactly.
A 14-year-old was able to have access. I realized that the gun that the 14-year-old had access to, Raheem, was the mother's gun. It was her gun. It must have been in the car. It may have been in the glove compartment. It may have been in her purse. I don't know. But it was her gun, according to the newspaper.
Yes.
They said that he texted him. And I believe she probably did, because it was smart. She texted him to come in because she's seen a situation. Now, I'm not mad, because I do believe that young man did which was properly needed to be done.
Hey, Cap.
He didn't have been.
Cap, let me step in for and I love what you're saying right now, because what you're saying right now leads me to believe that there may have been a history of these type of activities. It certainly was not the first time that something like this has happened.
According with her, first time it happened with her, or first
They
time?
said that's not her boyfriend, though. That was somebody else's boyfriend.
Yeah,
Wow.
He was a stranger. He was nobody that, according to what the news said, he was a stranger.
What?
And I don't think she went in.
to start no argument, whatever. I mean, if we stand in the line, you know how women are, man. I'm not going to say that's justify that man punching that woman in the face, but I just don't believe the degree until she probably texted her son. But the men that stood in that line, right,
and did nothing. Yeah,
I'm bothered by that because this is not the first time that we hear this. The men standing there videotaping, watching them. There should be a law. I like what Pete said. And I mean, really, there really should be a law. And I mean, for real. I mean, this is getting to the point where it should be a 1-year mandatory sentence for any act or assault on a woman. If you smack her, you automatically get 1 year. And if it goes further than that, then the year go up. I think we have to begin to understand the value of our women. To put your hands on a woman, to me, that's sacred. That's real sacred. If you can't walk away, you understand? I mean, so I think the young man did what any one of us would do when it comes to our mama.
Yeah.
But I am really this too. I'm serious. It motivated me to go. They say Captain Dennis is known for training men. For 45 years of my life, I've trained numerous of men to be protectors and providers for women. I have been semi-retired. It touched me. I know today I have to start, man. I'm going to start on the East Coast, have an all men's only meeting, training our young boys. The value of women, but training them to learn how to be men.
Yes, sir.
And let me tell you something, Raheem. There's 5 principles. And Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us there's 5 principles of being a man. And I'm going to give you these 5 principles today. Y'all can write it down. Y'all can remember it, but you're not going to disagree with me. The 5 principles of being a man is being a provider, protector, maintainer, sustainer, and one who accepts responsibility. I'm going to say that again. Provider, protector, maintainer, sustainer, and one who accepts responsibility. We have to teach our boys those 5 principles. Those 5 principles are the key to being a man. You can't have 3 of them. You can't have 2 of them. You may drop one. If you have to drop one of those principles, the principle everywhere I do the training and talk about that, if there's one principle that you can drop and you can take the 4, is the word sustainer. Because it's hard to be able to sustain a family in a society where the black man is targeted to be able to make sure you take away his ability to provide for his family. Sustaining means you're not being able to keep something constant. So every other week you got the lights turned off, or you got to move, or you got to stop being able to sustain. But that if there's one that's dropped, that's the one they drop. But the rest of them, you can't drop them.
Good deal.
I just put that out there on the airway. Those on TikTok. If you don't know what a man, I gave you 5 principles Elijah Muhammad taught us. I'm through with it, my man.
Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. Let me go to Joseph. Joseph, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning? Joseph, you there? Joseph may have stepped away for a second. Pete,
yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Right here, I'm talking my head off and it's still on mute.
I get it. Happens. It happens, brother. It happens. What's on your heart, man? Yeah. Do you think these charges should have been dropped?
I'm working with a young man right now. I agree with Cap, man. We gotta have a sense of give our young men a sense of understanding of what being a man is all about. Because there's a whole lot of foolishness going on in the community. You know, I was thinking the other day, man, in the military, when a general or somebody like that get out of line, the president will issue some type of reprimand or measure of correction to get that general in line, because if you don't, that will spiral down to the lower ranking individual, and you'll see a deterioration in that unit, or or that branch of the military. So everybody has to be in line with the protocol and the standard.
Mm-hmm.
And what I see is a breakdown in the standard in our community, man. When the leaders are not aligned with standards, it shows in our community. And I think we let ourselves off the hook. But we have an obligation to set a standard high, man, as leaders,
mm-hmm.
As wannabe leaders, whatever role we call ourselves playing. It's important that we maintain a high standard so our young men will see a high standard,
mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of black men doing that. There's a lot of black men and leaders out there doing that, man. I always recognize the Nation of Islam. I know, they got their little challenges and whatnot, just like everybody else. Other organization, some of our organizations doing a good job. We got our challenges, but I think we could do better. We could do better. We could all do better. Because what I'm seeing, man, is a breakdown in our community. A complete breakdown. I mean, there's indifference. For somebody to stand back and watch a sister get harmed and don't say nothing, don't get involved, don't want to get involved, man, there's an indifference, man. I mean, we're like numb, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this just the way things is now. That's how I feel about it.
Wow. Toya with a T, have we become numb? Do we? Is it just okay? Just another day, just another assault. That's just what we do. Ain't nothing to it. Is that our attitude now?
Yeah, of course. We eat animals, don't we?
Come on.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We do death. That's what we do. We always make up. We kill our kids, for goodness sakes. We abort babies.
Mm-hmm.
So of course we're numb to death. You kidding me? We abort things that are ours, and then we make up an excuse and say, "Oh, it wasn't created yet." But you wasn't created yet either until you got finished forming. So somebody killed you before that. Then what? So of course we've been numb. This is America. Of course we're numb. We go to war and think it's okay because we want what we want. Of course we're numb to it. But I think the intricate part about this story is, this is where it gets tricky for me. When I was 19, I was in an abusive relationship. And my nephew, who was 6 years behind me, better not dare.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? He better not dare get involved with what I got going on. Because my job is to protect him, not vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So, this young lady called her son, and I get it, but I would have never called my son. I would have just told him, "Go on, baby, go home. Baby, mom's finna go to jail. Baby, you finna be the man." You will not. Well, at any rate, when she called him and told him to come in, the end of the story was that he kept shooting after he shot him in the back. The man ran out of the store, and he kept shooting, and the mother and him ran outside behind him, and she told him to keep shooting him. Now, I understand all of this in a fit of rage because I'm an angry little person now. I know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
But she told him to keep on shooting him and then proceeded to tell him to shoot the girlfriend too because she was instigating him in there.
Wow.
See? Now, see,
wow.
couple of things that I'm going to have to go on ahead and get straight. Children still have a place in their places not to get involved with adult information and things that's going on. Totally get it. I'm getting my butt whipped. Totally get that. But I do not want my child or nieces and nephews to have to deal with something that is mine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I get it out of emotion, but I feel like we took a left turn when it's keep shooting them in the back. I would have never called a young one to come help me. I would have called police for one. For 2, yeah, there were men in there, and the men ran out. You know why the men ran out? Because they don't want no problems, and that was in Chicago. They don't want no problems. That's why they ran.
Mm-hmm.
And for the one that did keep the video, thank the Lord, because we need proof now to be able to tell what happened because of the disparities in our neighborhood, because they all probably would have been in jail and nobody would have known the truth. However, I still think we out of pocket when we call the children to come help us, especially when it comes to holding and handling a firearm to shoot another grown adult, even if it is in a detrimental situation. We need to learn how to have some self-control and not put ourselves in these situations and have our babies coming to put themselves in those type of situations, for one. For 2, when we go outside and you keep shooting them, kill him dead. Now, hell, now, boy, give me that gun. I'm gonna kill him dead. You take your ass to the house. Excuse my language.
Mm-hmm.
We have to think about all of the influences that could have went into this. Now, Pete was saying something earlier about women and talking, and I know I'm a talker. I'm gonna make you put your hands on me too, but I promise you, put your hands on me. I got some heat for you. But at the end of the day, it takes a multitude of different influences that can take us there, and that sometimes we have to have self-control, right? What I'm learning right now today, what God is teaching me, is about self-control. Toya, you know why you're shutting up? Not because you're weak, not because you could be, you can defend yourself, but because it's more than just you.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you get into it, you're going to pull other people into it. And when you pull other people into it, you change a multitude of different lives. So this is why we turn the other cheek. This is why it takes more strength for a man to shut up and turn the other cheek and go the other way versus just giving into their feelings and emotions and saying, hey, I'm going to handle this business, because you're going to pull a multitude of different people into the situation and it could potentially turn deadly. So we're going to pause. What if the older man, did y'all see the older man in the video? You probably didn't. But it was the older man right there on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And the older man was the first one to get out the way. Why? Probably because he old. But let's just say this older man tried to help this young lady, and then he would have got hit and killed. And a multitude of other people would have got, it could have turned a different way. So back to what Pete was saying, why we need to have self-control with probably not saying so much. And then for 2, not only that, authorizing the opportunity to call the police, even if we don't want to, because it can still become tragic. I would much rather call the officer who we know in this day and time. It's kind of dangerous to call the officer on a black man unarmed, straight up. But I'd much rather an officer handle that business instead of my niece, nephew, or son, because it's traumatic. It's traumatizing. You understand what I'm saying? We have to think about the things that we're about to get ourselves into. And I find myself having more self-control when other people are at risk, depending on what situation I'm in. You understand what I'm saying? And when that situation occurred, when you read the backstory, I just think that we were a little out of pocket at times when it came to calling in a 14-year-old boy, telling him to get the gun and shoot him, then telling him to shoot the sister, shoot the girlfriend. I just think that we are stepping out of our boundaries on who we are, and that is also producing these at-risk situations and these at-risk people. So until, again, we reel this thing back in as women, teaching our sons how to be, teaching our sons how to act, we're going to have this problem.
Hey, Toya, TikTok said, listening to what you were saying, one of the users on TikTok said she was in no position to call the police. Come on. She was in no position to call the police at all because everything was happening right then, I guess is what they're saying. What do you say to that?
She called the son, though. She told the son, but she couldn't call the police. I mean, come on with the jokes. I'm a street chick. Don't play with me. Stop. Been there, done that. I fight men on a regular basis. Got my butt whipped some, and then whooped a couple. I didn't even went to jail myself. So what I'm saying is that being in that life, I understand that there are ways we can change this. The solution to it all is, instead of calling the police, like Pete said, shut up. But I bet you that's a come on too. Oh, what you mean shut up? Come on. Oh, I'm not no punk. It's not about that. It's about we're knowing and acknowledging the situations that we in. I'm a chick from the streets. So even if I'm out there in the streets, I already know I got to move a certain way. Certain cats is a certain caliber. Certain things I can't say. Certain places I can't go without my strap. Certain places I can't. So knowing your situation, whether you're a cop, whether you're in the military, whether you're just somebody from the hood, you got to know how to move, period. Whether you think you bad or you think you're not bad. If she had time to call her son, she had time to call the police. If she had time to call her son, she had enough time to tell her son to call the police and not bring no pistol. Because what if those charges wasn't dropped and they all would have been clipped in the pen, especially if nobody had a gun. So, I mean, I get that perspective. However, if you had a chance to call your 14-year-old, which that should be the problem, calling your 14-year-old to come and bring a gun and get in my business. If you had time to do that, you had enough time to call the police. I'm just saying.
Wow. Cassandra, what's on your heart? What do you say about this? Because there's a lot going on with this situation as well. Because, you know, she did call her son. She did tell her son, bring me that heat. We about to have something. Person on TikTok said that she didn't have time to call the police. But if she had time to make that call, did she have time to call the police? There's so many different levels on this thing. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
I mean, it says that she called her son from where? From home, you mean?
No, he
was the son there?
He was out in the car.
He was in the car. Yeah, he was out in the car.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I mean, even if he called the police, this man is assaulting your mom right now. And who's to say that one of those punches could have killed her?
Yeah.
Or she could have hit the ground and, you know, and died. I'm just saying, you know, we can all speculate, you know, what she should have done or whatever. But the bottom line is it was happening right then. And somebody else may have called the police that was seeing it done. But my mom is being struck right now by this man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right now. So then I have to try to help my mom right now, you know, and I'm telling you, this is real to me because I remember I was 11 years old and my stepfather used to beat my mother on a regular basis. Well, one night he was beating her and I was like, you know what? She's screaming. I go to the kitchen, grab a butcher knife, go upstairs, and I'm telling him, you know, let go of her, you know, blah, 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 blah. And he, you know, backs off of my mom. My mom comes to me, grabs me, shakes me, and slaps me and said, don't you ever do that again. If he kills me, then that's on me. But if he was to hurt you, you know, it would hurt me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was in shock because I'm like, chick, I'm trying to protect you from this crazy man beating your butt. But so I understand. You understand what I'm saying? You see your mom being hurt, you're gonna do something.
Yeah.
Even at 11, I did something. I got a knife and went to try to defend her. But that's not what she wanted. She did not want me to get involved. So it's, you know, we can say what we think, you know, should have happened, but I feel like he was totally justified in coming out of that car with her gun, which I'm sure he knew was in the car. And like, oh no, I can't let this man hurt my mom. I'm just saying, you know, but we all, you know, have our own take on it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like I always say on here, everybody got their own opinion. I'm not here to give anybody their opinion. That's the way that you feel. But let me ask you this question too. And I asked this question earlier. Is that a way of co-signing? Are we co-signing the violence though?
Raheem,
yes,
you have to meet violence with violence sometime. Come on now, that's even scriptural.
I'm just asking. I'm the question asking. I'm the question asking. I'm just the question asking.
No, I know, but I'm just but I'm answering you.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to meet violence with violence. And I don't think she was co-signing for her son to just go and shoot somebody, you know, willy-nilly. But if he's protecting you, heck yeah. I'm all in for that. I'm sorry. I've seen too many women die while people stand around.
Okay.
No, man.
I'm with you. I'm telling you, Cassandra, I'm just the question asker. I'm the question asker.
You know, but you know my feelings with domestic violence.
Absolutely.
I've done this too long. I've seen too much. So I'm gonna get highly upset if anybody downplays a person protecting whoever it is, whether it's a man or a woman that's being abused.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Tucson, talk to me, brother. I see you over there smiling, man. What's going on with you?
So now the young man has to live with that for the rest of his life.
The fact that he killed somebody?
And it's okay. It's okay, though. It's okay. It's okay. And I done got scot-free. Not Scott, I don't mean no harm.
Yeah.
I understand what I understand. But wait a minute now. So why we got all of this going on? There's too much going on.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a man that don't know him from Jack's just say shut up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm confused. Here's a woman, evidently, just she's that type of woman. You got the right one today. And keep talking. And so she's got a son and got a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And sacrifices.
Yes.
Her son's life. I don't know what type of future he has or had or whatever the case may be. But that's
it's been said that he was an honor student.
Oh, okay. He probably still an honor student. That think that's in his mama's something else. Now she's a great mother, I guess, because evidently she makes sure he gets his grades. That's commendable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where the dad at, but evidently he ain't there. Because if she got to call her son, she didn't call her husband. Another problem. All this going on in them people's lives. Too much. It's just me.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so now you get the gun, son. Forget about him being an honor roll student, trying to get his grades so he can have a future. Go get the gun, and we're going to take this chance because this man is doing something that I probably can run and get my own gun.
Mm-hmm. No, he actually socked up pretty good a couple of times. The Tucson,
Yeah, I understand. But here's another thing: all these people sitting around videotaping. Who videotaped it? Arrest him. Arrest him for being part of the crime that's committed. Because if you got time to video, you got time to do something about it. It's just entertainment. That's just the type of society we live in. It's just entertainment. Another incident that's normal activity involving a gun. It's okay, and violence. And it's all right to risk another young man's life. Somebody said it. Who was that? Either Peter Curtis, that we live in the days of Herod, that killed a young man.
I think that was Curtis.
Kill him.
Curtis. Yeah, I think that was Curtis.
Kill him either physically, emotionally, spiritually, just kill them. Let them die. And because some kind of way, there's a redeemer on his way. One to get us out of all these, because every once in a while, there's somebody that everybody kind of said, oh, that's a guy that I would at least hear and consider what he's saying so that we can go back to the direction we need to be going. Because there's a direction in this society that we need to be going that we're not going, and that's in the will of our creator. Because I would say God, but people, they own it. And then they say, here we go with that again. Well, this Christian broadcast system. We forgot. I know we cuss and fuss and we talk about things that we normally don't, but we are trying to have some kind of a godly conversation that will let somebody know that, hey, you remember that creator that has us all looking at us and watching us and waiting on us to turn back to him. Oh, this is all about him. And so how can we get something out of all of this? We got too much going on in our lives that we need to stop, change our direction, change our actions, and get this thing right, because we're sacrificing our sons.
Exactly.
We're sacrificing our daughters. We're sacrificing our livelihoods, and all for a bunch of entertainment.
A person on TikTok responded to you too, son. A person on TikTok responded to you, and we're gonna go to Pete, then we're gonna go to Cap, then we're gonna circle our way back around again. But they said, what if that was his mom or his wife, and he was at home, and his son did nothing to help? Talking to you.
What if that was his mom?
What saying that? What if that? No. What if saying you? What if that was your mom? Or your mom or your wife there, and you was at home and your son was there and he did nothing? How would you feel about that?
It wouldn't be my mom and my wife. What you talking about? Me putting my hands on somebody?
No. If you was at home and say your mom or your wife was there at that restaurant, at that hot dog stand, and your son was in the car and he saw everything that was happening and he did nothing, how would you feel when you got home and found out that your son did nothing?
Well, it'd probably have to happen in my life for me to answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't get in them type of situations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that I can't, but I avoid those type of actions.
Mm-hmm.
I shun evil and all this drama that people got it going on in their lives. I worry about that. You see, what we do is we conform to what goes on in this society, and we just like that. That's why we got so much drama going on in our lives. Man, I don't get into all that, so I don't have to answer that question. I don't respond to other folks' interpretation, and then they're gonna implant that in my life. Go, man, look, I respect you, but I don't have that going on in my life. I put them all out.
We say you'll put them all out.
Every one of them, to have peace in my life. Because I don't like drama.
Yeah.
So I understand and see, we have to learn how to talk to each other. So I teach I'm showing my children and my kids, spend time with them. I go and talk it out. Don't act it out. Talk it out so it won't get ugly. And if it gets to the point that you can't handle it, you might need to think about what you're into. That you need to go on, let that go. Avoid that kind of mess.
Good deal. Okay. Brother Pete, talk to me. Cap, coming to you next.
Well, I think we covering the scope. See, our perspectives and our egos and our emotions come into play. And that might be a great contributor to why we had these foolish situations happening so often. Because people are not mature enough and sober-minded enough to understand the reality of situations that they're engaging in and what the end result can be. So we need to pause for a moment and take an examination of ourselves. Are we living recklessly? Are we living foolishly? Talk about foolish pride.
Come on.
To do what you're supposed to do and weather the storm and stand in spite of, maybe you could take some pride in that. But that foolish pride, usually and ultimately, it embellishes and supports and develops and produces foolishness. So let us take an assessment. Don't live so recklessly to where you put your life in danger, put your well-being in danger. You might not die, but you may be permanently infirmed. You may go from walking to being paralyzed, all because of what? Nothing. Foolishness. These leaders of these nations talk a lot of hot rhetoric to one another from time to time, but they're all clear about the ultimate result. If they keep going, it will be end in war, and then there will be massive carnage and loss of life. Because of what? I mean, did we have to go to war? Was it necessary? Did we not have any other choice? And to show you that war is not always so serious, the leaders who proclaim war, they never lead the warriors into war. If it's that doggone serious, then grab your sword and your pistol and your assault weapon
and your gear and lead us into war then, since we got to go to war. Biden too old to fight, and Putin right behind him in old age. Ain't neither one of them about to get into no fight, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So stop playing. Stop acting like we don't understand. We do. Don't live so ignorant and stupid and riotous and reckless, and then bring about your ultimate demise because of some foolishness.
Exactly. Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. Let's go to Cap. Cap, what's on your heart? Ryan, coming to you next, brother.
Well, it's a tragic story. There's no winners in this story. There's no winners.
Absolutely.
I would say that, when we look at the 14-year-old, we're thinking of a young man. But 14-year-old probably is the greatest age bracket where a lot of gun violence take place.
Mm-hmm.
It takes place with a lot of 14-year-olds. Now, did the mother call him, or let me put it this way: did she continue to irritate this fool because she knew she had a gun in the car? Because she could make a phone call or text and here he comes. Did she continue to irritate this fool who tried to tell her, according to what I heard, I don't know, if you say one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
So evidently, she didn't feel threatened enough that she kept running her mouth for whatever reason. I don't know what he was saying to her. I don't know. I wasn't there. That she didn't shut up. Could it be because she had backup? Sometimes when you have a gun, whether it's on you, or around you, or near you, you talk smack. You feel a certain power.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Yeah.
And maybe that could have been. Versus if she didn't know that there was a gun in the car, my son's in the car, and I don't feel threatened, but you put your hands on me, he's going to bring the noise.
Mm-hmm.
But what was really, and if you look at the video, I want y'all to look at the video. Look at the Chinaman whose business, I don't know if he's the owner of the business, but look at him who's serving them. He's not bothered by the argument.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it, what he's doing. This is his establishment. You in my business, and you threatening people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still making hot dogs. I'm just saying, I don't know what he's making.
Yeah, hot dogs.
And I, owner, don't call the police.
Mm-hmm.
I, owner or employee, don't say, hey, take all this stuff up out of here. So when you don't see the owner of the establishment and who would continue to do business with that business when they don't even get involved with trying to stay behind the screen. You can't say, hey, y'all got to leave it.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that. Get out. That's something.
Mm-hmm.
But you still ready to serve, and you see that level of argument. Nobody's talking. Whoever the person, he look like a Chinaman. I'm sorry. I don't know. But there's no statement from the business. If you read the news article, you don't see them talking to the owners or the guy. Hey man, you was making a hot dog. Which started? Well, I heard so that you don't have none of that.
Yeah.
So we continue to do business with people who don't give a doggone about our business. That bothered me because I kept looking at his face as I seen my man escalating, and he looked like he's still working.
Mm-hmm.
You can see him.
Yeah.
I said, wow. They could have called the police.
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing, she should have just left. If you stand in the line and somebody talking that madness. Ain't no hot dog in the world. Now, and then Chicago do got some great hot dogs, but not to the degree. I'm going to stand in that daggone line and wait on that hot dog while this man talking some madness to me. So those are factors. Did the fact that she knows she had a gun out in the car make her feel invincible to keep running her mouth? That's point A. Why did the guy behind the counter continue to make hot dogs when clearly you can hear a situation escalating? And look at him when he even throw the first punch. What's the reaction? So I'm just saying, we have become desensitized. This kind of madness is not new to the hood. What are we going to do? I'm trying to do the best I can. I had a brother, when I went on Facebook and I said that I was going to do that, a guy texted me back on Facebook and said, you know, Captain, you trying to save people, and there's some people who don't want to be saved. You can't save everybody. And then my response was, I know. It's like the starfish. The man was walking on the beach with his son, and all these starfish had washed up on the beach, hundreds of them. And so I started picking them up and throwing them in the water. And the father said, son, you wasted your time. You know, there's too many of them. You wasted your time. And then the son said to the father, I bet you if you ask that starfish that I threw in the water, did I waste my time? And I think sometimes we get to the attitude that we don't want to do nothing because the problem looks so complex that I just sit at home and give you my opinion and don't do nothing but run my mouth about when I think of the situation. I'm sorry. I'm not that kind of guy.
Exactly.
I'm going to make my attempt to do something. And that's the way I am.
Absolutely.
And if I can't say so, I want to teach these young men, you don't put your hands on no woman. Young boy, you don't do that. I'm not saying that he did it, but you need to start young and early. And if you're a man, be a man. And you stand there, I don't care if you 80 years old, 100 years old, your very nature going to tell you, you can't watch no man beat another man. You just got to take one for the team. That's the kind of men we got to be today. I'm tired of seeing our women be abused, and then we try to blame it on her because she run her mouth, you know? And it's like my wife, she do her mouth a lot, you know. I ain't gonna lie to you. I be telling her, shut up. And she got to keep on going. But never to the degree I want to put my hands on her.
Exactly.
Never to that degree. I just another room. That's what's on my heart right here.
Hey, there you go. Let me go to Ryan. Ryan, what's on your heart, brother? And I really wish I knew the whole, because I've seen some people, some of the people on TikTok had said that it all sparked. I wonder what sparked the whole thing to say that she jumped in the line or something like that. And she didn't know that the guy was hitting and his girlfriend was there trying to order, blah, blah, say walked in and she jumped. They're saying that she jumped the line and that's what sparked all this thing. But I wish I really knew what really sparked it and what could have happened at that moment to negate this whole situation from blowing out of control, because it got totally out of control to the point that somebody has died and lost their life. Ryan, talk to me, brother.
First of all, I'm gonna just say, Cap, I love you, brother. You make my day a lot of days. But you bring up a whole another slew of questions with your statement. And so we don't really know everything, right? So what if she knew this cat from somebody else and she knew the boy was in the car with the heat and set this whole thing up just to kill this brother? I mean, there's so many plausible things, but that's not what the topic is about. And if she cut in line, so what? You got to wait an extra couple minutes, and instead of waiting an extra couple minutes, you gonna beat this woman? That ain't even right, man. Something wrong with somebody marbles upstairs. They missing the whole bag. If you got to get that mad about somebody taking cuts, what is this, preschool?
Exactly.
Like, it's crazy when you think about the whole scenario, regardless of who's at fault. If anybody's at fault, you just traumatized your son, unless this is something that you do as a mommy son, some sort of like thing y'all got going on. We're gonna take this guy out today. Y'all serial killers? I would never. My wife would never. Nobody in my family would ever try and set one of the children up for failure. Somebody earlier said this kid was an honor roll student. What you done did? Regardless if the charges was dropped or not, now this boy has got this traumatizing event stuck in his brain that's not going to go away. He took somebody's life.
Gotta carry that body.
Go away.
He gotta carry that body. Yeah.
He gonna replay that moment in his mind the rest of his life, and it's still going to affect him. Regardless if the charges was dropped, any school he go to that's seen this whole scenario, they gonna remember this the guy. His mama told him to kill somebody and keep shooting and not stop. We don't need him in this school. Shouldn't ruin this boy's life.
He don't need to be on my football team.
And regardless if the charges was dropped for that situation, charges need to be brought on the mama. If that's true, she said, chase him out the door and keep shooting and then shoot his girl too. That's not an accidental scenario. That's not in the moment. If you got enough sense to say shoot his girl too and don't stop, that's not in the heat of the moment. You know what you're doing. And you just set your son up for failure the rest of his life. That's what I got to say about that.
Wow. Cassandra?
Yeah. I don't think it was a setup thing. The fact that she felt threatened and she knowing her son was in the car, and the fact that he couldn't even find the gun, he was searching in the car for the gun. It's not like they had anything set up. She knew that her child was an honor student, and I don't think she so much told him to bring it in so he could shoot him. But the minute I see you hit my mom, I don't care what she did if she jumped the line. If she jumped the line, why is he all in her face, in her space, and then telling her she look old enough to be his mama? The young man's mom. And he is all in her face. That balled his fist. He had intentions from the beginning, from the moment he started balling his fist up and telling her to shut up and all that. No, listen, Linda, listen. I'm telling you, it would have not gone down like that. Because if I had my gun, I would have done it myself. The first punch, I would have had to take him down. So we can, say what she did to her son or whatever. But what he did is he saw a man strike his mother in the face.
Yeah.
And not just once, because of words. Because of words. And you could tell she ain't no young chick. And you go, oh no. I think he was justified. Unfortunately, he will be traumatized, but hopefully she can get him counseling. The kid was an honor student. He wasn't no troublemaker running around doing all kind of crazy stuff. I watched the video. All I saw was the aggression on this kid's part. The man that's in her face and balling his fist out. Okay, we can say what we think we would have done, but for me, my grandson is right here, and he's like, "Oh no, I wouldn't. No, Grandma, you know me.
Yeah.
I would have taken him down if he hit my mama, point blank."
Wow. It's a lot tied into this thing, man, and everybody got their own feelings. Everybody got their own feelings about it, and that's one of the things why I love the Morning Glow, because we're free to express the way that we feel. Do we always agree? Absolutely not. And that's the beautiful thing, though. That's a beautiful thing. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? Toussaint, we can't hear you, brother. Toussaint, I'm about to say it to you. Wake up and go to sleep. Wake up and go to sleep. Pete, talk to me, brother.
Well, we getting down to the nitty gritty of it, and as more comes out, perspectives and comprehension of change. That is a little bit extreme to chase the man out and then want to shoot the girlfriend too. We understand being in a fit of rage, but when you're using lethal force, it's usually to counter a threat that's posing, the potential of someone being harmed to the point of a loss of life.
Mm-hmm.
And when you fleeing, you're not. I don't know how much of a threat you can be when you're running away.
Yeah.
Now, yes, did you do something and all that? Yes. But at the point of fleeing, again, this is where calm minds and, maturity has to take place, because we're dealing with life. We're not dealing with a start over. It's not a video game.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just do whatever action you want to do in this session and then hit restart. There's no restart on this. So our decisions have to be sure and sound, and certainly in life and death situations. I haven't had anyone hit me, but I've had individuals threaten me and threaten to do me bodily harm, close enough to me to do bodily harm. And I was definitely able to let them know that this will be the day.
Yeah.
And I gave them a chance to think about, what their thoughts and their actions before I gave them a response. Because my response was going to be fatal.
Mm-hmm.
And they understood that my response was going to be fatal. I made sure it was clear that I'm going to kill you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to have, it's a lot that goes into these things. They tend to go down in seconds, like a police shooting. And then afterwards, we start tearing things apart and trying to make sense of it. Well, this, well, that, well, that, well, this, well. Well, you better know what you're doing in the midst of them situations. Because again, the potential for it to go extremely south and end up in something horrible for somebody turns real great the more you go on with it. It's real simple to just be quiet. Like, how hard is it to just control yourself, discipline yourself? How hard is that? Well, evidently, it's extremely hard if adults can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And here we are, unfortunately, portraying ourselves to the world as savages. Here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no winning in this. This is all a loss. This whole situation is just one stain. That's all it is. Somebody had some refried beans and they wiped their behind and smeared all over the paper, and that's what we looking at.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Pete, TikTok said, you see how he switched up one way for him and another way for her. What do you say to that?
I didn't switch up at all. What I'm speaking is sound sense. There's no one way for either one of them. What I'm saying to you is the lady could have shut up, and the man could have shut up too. And the man was not justified at all to hit the woman. So I don't know where you're hearing any switching up. Where I'm switching up to saying, before it goes that far, we need to use our maturity and our sensibility. Common sense is not common, but some form of thinking above second and third grade to avoid these type of nonsensical situations happening in the first place. If one person can't do it, then the other person should do it. Neither one of them chose to do it, and they both full-grown adults. So this is just an outright degenerate, foolish situation.
Okay.
You can't even make sense out of this.
Okay, AP, let me do this right here. Then we're gonna move on. Actually, we got to get out of here in a few minutes. But the TikTok said, followed up and said, actually got two more things. Just another one just came up. He said the guy threatened him, and he was close enough to do harm. And then the second thing, he said that he let the guy know this won't be the end. If he hurts him, hurts him. So I don't know which one of those you want to comment on, but the first one was he said that
if you're talking about my statement where I said I've had personal situations,
yes, that's what
I gave the person a chance when they were threatening me with bodily harm, and I had the ability to meet their threat with the same aggressive action physically and fatally. And I gave them a chance to stop and think about what you're saying and what you acting like you want to do, because it's not going to happen like you think. I'm perfectly capable of physically defending myself. I already know I'm going to pummel you physically. You pose no real threat to me in my mind. I'm more of a threat to you than you realize. That's what I conveyed to them. And on top of that, I had the ability to use secondary fatal force. And I made sure that they understood it so they can come to themselves instead of being hostile and aggressive for whatever reason. I didn't do nothing to the person. They just turned to me and started threatening me. I don't even know what it was about. I don't know what it was about to this day. I did nothing to the person, never seen them, never met them, wouldn't know if I saw them again right now. But I made it clear to them, don't threaten me. Don't keep moving toward me and the threatening gestures, saying threatening things, because I'm going to hurt you. And in my defending myself and being aggressive towards you, I'm going to hurt you. I already know I'm going to hurt you, but I might end up killing you. That's not my desire. So think about what you're doing before you bring about your ultimate demise out here playing around. Everybody not playing. But I'm sensible enough to give you a chance because my humanity allows for me to value life, even the lives of fools and idiots and degenerates and boo-boo stains. People that I don't know if they should have been allowed to come through the birth canal. What they produce in their being and their living, it has no value. So I don't know where I switched up.
Good deal. Good deal. Toussaint, you back with us? Toussaint may have stepped away, maybe on a call or something. Cassandra, what's on your heart? Cassandra?
I'm still in the same. Yeah, I'm here. I'm still in the same place. I believe that this young man was strictly defending his mom. Okay, so once everything started, you know, who knows whether he thought the guy was running out to go get her? I don't know. I mean, who knows what somebody is thinking in a moment of trauma like that? But this was a kid. And if you look at this kid, this you can tell this is one of them scary kids that he ain't no troublemaker. And I would love for somebody to do the research if they want to. And this kid, from what I'm seeing on video, he wasn't looking for no trouble.
Yeah.
No. But he knew once that guy through because he was just standing in the door, listening to the guy in his mama's face saying he did not make a move until this fool punched his mama in the face and then going in for another punch. Oh, it would have been all over right there. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take you down. My mama, that's my mama. So I don't know, you know, why anybody could see something wrong with him doing that. Because he did not go aggressively, because he could have come in and went straight to the guy and started shooting.
Exactly.
But he stood in the door. He stood in the door and, you know, watched without moving until that guy threw a punch on his mom. Man, listen. Oh, man. I'm done because.
Wow.
No.
It's a lot.
I can't. No.
It's a lot tied into this thing. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. Just happy to see another beautiful new day.
Good deal. Good to have you, brother. You've been listening to what we're talking about this morning?
No, man, I just tuned in, man, but it sounds like you're talking about that conflict that happened with the boy shooting the guy that attacked his mom.
Yes. We talked. Well, we started off this morning talking about the man that killed his 3 sons. And how terrible that was. Then we transitioned over to this one right here. What happened was, you know, they was charged. Initially they was charged, the mother and the son, but the charges was dropped. And so I'm asking the question: do you agree or disagree with the charges being dropped? And if you do agree with it, are we co-signing on violence?
I agree with it. To be honest with you, I don't think they should have even went to jail. I think they should have, if they were going to go to jail, they still should have had to stand your ground law to depend on a self-defense. You know, I was looking at that whole situation, and the only person that's innocent in that is the child. I look at the adults and how they both refuse to use conflict resolution. And see, that's that put that little boy in between a rock and a hard place.
Yep.
When the two adults chose violence over just saying, okay, I'll be the bigger person. And it really shows you that the atmosphere that exists, that it's hard for people to be the bigger person for some reason. It's hard for people to want to resolve conflict. They would rather go to conflict or aggression if they don't have their way. You know, that guy could have easily just said, well, you know what, I'm going to let you say what you say and keep my hands to myself. And the woman could have easily just not even said anything to put him to the situation where he responded the way that he did. But both of them put that little boy in a situation where he has to deal with something that he'll never forget again. And it sort of reminds me of what happened with my cousin, not this past Saturday, but Saturday before then. I got my young cousin got killed, got shot in the back of the head.
So what?
And and he actually took the bullet of his friend. And I'm mad at the friend because the friend chose to take it in his own hand and have the audacity to put his hands on another man's girlfriend or another man's daughter. And so while everybody's mad at the shooter, I'm disappointed in the shooter, but I'm also angry at the person that provoked the shooter because he had no right to put his hands on somebody else's child or somebody else's girlfriend. And then when the boy confronted him, he told him, yeah, I slapped you and I slapped you too. And ended up beating the boy up. And so it gets.
Oh man, we lost him. Wow. Hopefully he'll call back in. We lost him. He may be out and about or something like that, and the call dropped. Cap, what's on your heart?
Man, I was in Rico's story.
There you go. I think we got him back. Yeah, there we go.
Okay,
good deal. Yes, sir.
I want to hear that story.
Go ahead, Rico. I don't know what happened, brother. It dropped some kind of way.
I don't know what y'all have heard, but it made me realize that, you know, these young children and the people that we influence have to learn to start looking more for peace instead of looking for more of that negative energy or that excitement, that sensationalism, that adrenaline rush that comes with that confrontation and conflict. What happened with my cousin didn't have to happen if somebody would have just had enough respect about themselves to say, you know what, I shouldn't have put my hands on them. And this, you know, the killing part was they were friends.
Wow.
Everybody was friends. The boy that shot my cousin in the back of the head, they actually was in the same car together and got into it at a party.
Man, I'm sorry.
So that conflict resolution, man, I mean, it's important, you know, because we look at the situation, what happened with that little boy shooting that man that hit his mama. I condone that. I condone that all day long. But it didn't have to happen if both of the adults would have had the mind of adults, peaceful adults.
Man, I wish Willa was here today, man, because I would definitely have her to add you into her prayers, brother. I didn't know that, man. I'm sorry that happened, man. I really am.
She did that last week for me.
Oh, she did? Okay. Good.
Yeah, she did it last week for me. Y'all, she didn't say no name, but you know, that's she did it last week for me.
Okay, got you. Oh, that day when okay, now it's making sense to me now. Okay, now it's making sense. That's that day when she was out in a certain place, right?
Right.
Okay, now it's making sense. Okay, I was wondering what was okay. But let me ask you this question, Rico. And I understand your stance on it. And like I said, everybody have their opinion. I'm not here to give anybody theirs because everybody have their own. But if a person were to come to you, Rico, and say, well, you know, if that be the case, yeah, he got off, but, you know, he got to carry that body for the rest of his life. And that's the reality. He have to carry that body. But they say, well, in your response or in some of the response that was on here, you all are condoning violence. You all are co-signing on violence. What would you say to that person?
Well, sometimes you have to meet force with equal force to stop a force. And that's just the way that life goes. You know, sometimes to defend yourself or protect your life, somebody may push you to a point where you have to stop theirs.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you would want to do.
I mean, but self-preservation is the number one rule of life.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Man, I'm sorry that happened to your family, man. Let me go back to Cap. Cap, what's on your heart?
Hey, man, it's good to hear you, Rico. I'm sorry about your cousin, man, but I haven't heard you in a few days, so it's just good to hear your voice. Miss you, dude. Nevertheless, man, Raheem, it's a tragic story that too often that we are told, we have become desensitized, very desensitized. And we live in an environment where we see the worst of human behavior. And that's the environment most of these young people grow up in. That's called the hood. You go to these, it's almost everything confrontational. If a man look at you wrong, we say he mean mugging you. Why you looking at me like that? Mean mugging. What is it with us? I like what Rico said. Conflict resolution is not being used.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say this in Flint, Michigan, we had an event called Squash the Beef Before the Grief, conflict resolution. We're getting billboards by the city to put up where they show two brothers going in with each other with a gun. And in between them, there's a peacekeeper telling them, listen, brother, let's squash this beef before the grief. Well, I mean, it may not, mean a lot to people. Well, but everybody want to out in the fight. I don't give a doggone how tough you are. You could be tougher than Ryan. But if you see an opportunity to get out of a situation without violence, you're going to take it.
Yeah.
Human nature is going to take it. That's what Pete was saying. I'm going to walk away, man. I'm not going to go there, but if you take it the next step, I got to take you out of existence. We got to stop talking about he killed him. I'm going to kill you. No, just say, I'm going to take you out of existence. Because that's what that means. You will no longer exist no more.
Yeah.
As a human being, you will no longer exist. You won't be able to do harm to nobody, yourself, you too. You return to the darkness from which you came from.
Yeah.
So we got to understand that's what we do when we take somebody's life. We taking them out of existence. That's it for that individual or individuals.
Exactly.
That's it. No coming back. That's it. And I think we need to understand what has a human being done that is worthy that I'll take you out of existence. God brought me into existence, but look here, partner. I'm going to take you out of existence. But there are certain situations that warrants that. But come on, man, an argument in a hot dog place. We arguing over what? Over what? If you would put your hands on this woman and not understand the consequences of your action.
Yeah.
For every act, there's an opposite and equal reaction. Hey, it's
Good
a
deal.
sad story. Not everybody said, you right. That 14-year-old have to carry that and play that in his mind over and over the rest of. Now he may not even be an honor roll student no more. He may become a problem. And then that's where Sister Cassandra come in. That's where Curtis come in. They got to take children like that who's traumatized. And I think this who's Scandinavia, somebody else is a counselor who takes that child and help that child get through life, because now that child may be a problem child. That's what's on my heart, right?
Good deal. Good deal. Well, we are about to get out of here for today, man. It's been a great broadcast, man. And I pray for the hearts of everybody. Let me see. That's involved in this situation, family, friends, co-worker, everybody that's involved. And I pray for their hearts, man. I pray for their healing. It's terrible. It's not an easy situation. Neither one of them. the three young boys the three boys that was killed, and the young man that was killed at the hot dog stand. It's not easy. And these are just two stories that we're talking about. There's many, many more. There are many, many more. We got to do better, y'all. We have to do better. We have to, or these stories are not going to end. One day, I hope and I pray that it does not, but one day, it might knock at your door. Let's pray that it doesn't. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother?
It gives another light into when it says, train up a child in the way that they should go. I never saw it say, train up your child, because there's so many different children that need redirecting.
Yes.
We got to turn this thing around. We talk about how many generations we've lost since I was a child. We say we lost. But some have, we didn't lose them all, but some have slipped through the cracks.
Yes.
And they've had children, and they don't know how to raise children because children have raised children. It keep going on and on. We have to do something. We need some solutions. We talk about a lot of problems, but we need problem solvers.
Yes, sir.
So whether you are a counselor, whether you're a pastor, preacher, teacher, or Joe on the block, it don't make no difference. We need to make some changes in other folks' lives. And it might just be you grabbing some young man or some young woman and say, come here, let me talk to you.
And truth of the matter, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Toussaint, what's going on at 3 o'clock today, sir?
If you missed this broadcast in its entirety, no, that ain't it. You can see it by logging in to DKM www.DKM Media Group and Associates, I think.
Mediagroup.com.
.com.
www.
See, Cassandra, that's why I'd be like, I ain't even on no.
Cassandra said in the back of mine. I heard him in the back of mine. I heard her speaking to herself. She said, I did it better. I did it better than that. She said, I did it better than that.
He ain't no better than I am. That's why
I'm not.
No, I'm not no better than you. I think you would have done better. I should have muted out and act like I wasn't on here.
At DKM Media Group, you know, you gonna get it. You gonna get it. It's perfect practice makes perfection,
you know
brother.
What you need to do, Raheem?
What's that?
You need to send it to us.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to, so y'all just read it on.
So we won't be looking so unprofessional.
Y'all did good. Y'all did good. But it's at 3 o'clock today. Tune in to www.
Eastern Standard Time, right?
Eastern Standard Time. You can watch the broadcast, see the broadcast in its entirety. www.dkmmediagroup.com. www.dkmmediagroup.com. Cassandra.
Nope.
Cassandra. And she ain't gonna say that. She gonna say nope.
She hung up.
She left. Boy, look at her. Boy, look at. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. Well, watch this. I got somebody to pray for us though. I got somebody that's gonna pray. Cap. Wake up. That what you say? What you say? You're old. What you call the Cap? What kind of preacher?
About, brother.
What kind of preacher you say you are?
You call me a frustrated Baptist preacher. Is that what you're trying to say?
That's what it is. That's it. I want to wake him up right now, brother. Say a prayer. You're a frustrated Baptist preacher. We need you to pray us out, brother. Can you do it?
Yes, of course.
My man.
Thank you, everybody. Heavenly Father, we call on you today. We know you are called by many names, but we know you as the supreme sovereign ruler of the universe. We know you as Almighty God. We ask you today to bless everyone on this line. Bless everyone on the airways. Please, Almighty God, give us peace and contentment that we would do your will and your will only. We ask you, Almighty God, to continue to unite our hearts and make us have it the desire to bring about a universal government of peace where we all can live in peace together. We know you are peace, and without you, we have no peace. Make us believers in you. Make us submit to you, for you have the power to make all knees bow, all heads bow, all knees to bend. Thank you for giving us up this morning. Thank you for Brother Raheem. Thank you for the wonderful men and women on this show who every day give you the glory. We pray, Almighty God, that our sister who normally gives us this great prayer, Sister Willa, that you keep her in our prayers as well. We ask this in the name of all your righteous servants as we say together, Amen. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I tell you, did I tell you, first grade Baptist preacher? Did I tell you too, son? You didn't know that, did you?
I was like, I went in that zone. I know you had an engine cap. I was like, hallelujah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I told you, look here. We need somebody to pray. I go right to cabinet over first grade Baptist preacher. Boy, he's stirring up a little bit, and there you go. There you go. It's
right here.
Yes, sir.
If they, I almost said, man, I got to get Cap over to the church.
Yes, sir. And you know what? And you know the beautiful thing about it, he'll come. He will come. I'm speaking for him.
They you know, they kind of like, where you from?
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. You just listen.
Don't worry about that. Just listen.
Listen. Yeah, you listen.
Up and listen.
Exactly. He from the word. He from the word. Listen to the word. Listen to the word. But listen, this has been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:21. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple, I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Now we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Give somebody some love and truth. You would appreciate it. They would appreciate it. And I'm sure that you will as well. Love you. See you tomorrow morning, the Morning Glow. See you tonight for either the Raheem Ajame Show or Real Men Being Men. Don't know which one it's going to be, but it's going to be at 8 o'clock tonight. So make sure you stay locked and loaded right here at DKM Media Group and Associates. Love ya.